Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back to the last day of Indiemas. Merry Christmas Eve slash Feliz Noche Buena. I am super excited for this video because we're going to be talking about all of the best indie makeup of the entire year, my yearly favorites, top of the top. Everything featured in this video is the bread and butter of my makeup routine, and I'm sure you've heard me rave about these products over and over again this year, but it is going to be compiled all of my love into one video, and I really just hope that you have enjoyed Indiemas. You've enjoyed getting some new indie makeup content every single day. This will probably be my last video for the year. I'm just gonna enjoy some family time, and I was about to say I'll be back January 1st, but I'll probably be hungover January 1st. Let's be so real right now. I'm just so excited for 2024. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump on into all the favorites. I'm gonna leave my eyeshadow favorites to the very end because I just talked about these in my ranking all of the palettes I tried this year. So obviously like my favorite palettes in that video are gonna be my favorite palettes in this video. Nothing changed. So we're gonna leave those towards the end in case you wanna go check out that video first. You don't want a spoiler. So you know what, let's start with some lip products because I tend to leave those towards the end normally, and I have quite a few to share with you. So I have two different lip oil formulas to share. One is going to be the Blend Bunny Tinted Lip Oil, specifically the shade Love Bite. I have really been enjoying this formula for that like hybrid between a gloss and oil. It like adds like the most beautiful nude, like your lips but better tone. It's like this brownie pink. It's moisturizing, it's comfortable on the lips, and it's just been something I've been reaching for constantly. I actually had to dig through all my purses to figure out where I had last put this because it's always ending up in my purse. There are other shades. There's some very, very colorful shades. This is my favorite, and then I also really love the clear one, which I thought was in front of me, but now I don't see it. But at the same time, it's like even if I swatched it for you, it would just be a clear lip oil. So really, really love that formula from Blend Bunny. And then I also wanted to mention the Bodyography lip oil. This is in the shade Juicy, and that is literally the perfect name. This is the most juicy lip oil. It is so comfortable. It smells so good, and it just looks glossy. I know it looks like it has like a pink tint to it, but it is very minimal. It is not like, you know, a lot of tinted lip oils get very like baby pink on the lips. This one does not do that. It's what I'm wearing right now. And I feel like I have not talked about this nearly enough on YouTube, but it's because it's always in my purse. I'm like never using it in videos, but I'm using it in real life all the time. So there's what she looks like. You can see it's just a very, very minimal soft tint, and it is just beautiful. Like I said, it smells so good. It smells fruity. Delicious. One of my favorite smells of a lip product other than the Limoncello lip gloss from Finding Ferdinand and Khaki. That one is delicious too. I'm always like puckering my lips and I'm like, smell my lips to my boyfriend. I'm like, get a load of this. It's so good. I also have two more traditional bullet lipsticks here. So one is the BK Beauty lipstick in the shade Grace. And it's kind of funny because when I originally tried this formula, I didn't like it. And then I tried it again, literally like a year and a half later or something. And I was like, wait, this is so good. I don't know what happened. Honestly, it might be that like my lips are in a better place. I'm always drinking water, always have chapstick on. So I feel like lip products in general tend to look better. So maybe I wouldn't recommend this if you have really chapped lips. But this is the shade Grace, and it's just like my perfect your lips but better shade. It's like this like soft kind of satiny finish, super, super beautiful. I actually did have the pleasure of meeting Lisa, the owner of BK Beauty, and a few of the girls on her team. Everyone was so sweet. I feel like BK Beauty is truly a brand worth supporting. And then I also have the Natasha Denona Amorosa lipstick here, which is so gorgeous. It's another like perfect nude for me, but I would argue it's just a little bit more on the cool tone side. If you can believe it, someone got mad at me for calling this lipstick a nude, and I'm like, Natasha Denona herself called this lipstick a nude, but that is also a favorite. It again has like more of like a satin kind of buttery formula to it, and it is just super beautiful, super comfortable on the lips, and I love reaching for it when I'm wearing anything more cool toned on the eyes. And then lastly, I have more of a liquid lipstick here. This is from the Odin's Eye and Angelica Nyquist collaboration. It's the shade Swamp Frog. It's a matte, and it is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love it so, so much. Like, look how pretty that is. Just one of those shades that makes me feel so good. I love the tone. It's super comfortable on the lips, and even though it is a matte liquid lipstick, it's not drying. It just feels velvety. Next, let's do some complexion products. I have been raving about both of these so much, you're not going to be surprised at all to see them again, but this is the Danessa Myricks Beauty Yummy Skin Skin Tint. I have the shade 2, and this is truly the most beautiful skin tint. I feel like it's that perfect mixture of like, it looks like I have like really beautiful, flawless skin, but also not like I'm wearing a ton of foundation or anything like that. It looks effortless. Like my skin looks like skin, but it looks like beautiful skin. Like it just has like a nice amount of coverage. It doesn't emphasize any dryness. And I don't know. I've never loved a skin tint as much as I love this one. Obviously, it's what I have on my skin right now. And then I also have on the Thread Cover It Complexion Fluid, which I use as a concealer. This concealer is so underrated. I feel like it gives me coverage without being cakey. It's hydrating underneath my eyes without being creasy, and I feel like it just looks so, so good. I would describe it as a medium coverage, but sometimes I will go in with an under eye corrector and make it full coverage. It just blends out so beautifully, and I honestly have been neglecting every other concealer in my collection and mostly just using this one. This one, and I have to mention another one. The Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer is so good. I feel like if you're wanting something a little bit more full coverage, slightly less glowy, I would not describe this as glowy. I would describe it as more like creamy. It looks so creamy, so pretty underneath the eyes. Like, this is my go-to concealer when I want that glam look. I wish that there was one shade lighter than this because I feel like it's really similar to my skin tone and it definitely works for me. But sometimes I do want this formula in something that's just like a touch more brightening. But I love it so much, 100% worth the hype. I also wanted to mention the Blend Bunny cheek palettes because these are so good. We have the Juicy Cheeks, which is literally the most fun blush palette. Super, super pigmented blushes. I really love that this palette in particular is very unique, and I feel like it's not like the cookie cutter blush palette that you see over and over again. And I feel like if you want to have a bunch of these unique blushes, you want some yellow, some orange, some purple, some red, this is a great place to have it all in one place. And then the Bare Cheeks is a little bit more like your typical blush palette, but it's still really, really beautiful. I reach for this one all the time, especially for the shade Baby Girl. That is definitely my favorite. But I love these blush palettes. I feel like they're so much bang for your buck. And when I'm wanting a powder blush, these are what I reach for. But when I'm wanting a cream blush, these are my newest discovery this year. These are my obsession, my favorite cream blush. It's going to be the Finding Ferdinand formula. So the two blushes I have here are both out of the Khaki Summer Abroad collection, which I don't think is available right now. But they do have a separate blush line, which I actually purchased all of the shades from. I'm just waiting for it to get to me. And then they also make custom blushes as well in case there's like a very specific color that you're wanting and you want to try this formula. Highly, highly recommend. So my two favorites are this like coral shade, which is called Paloma. It's super beautiful. It's what I have on today, but I did mix a little bit of one of the pinks from Blend Bunny on top. So here is what Paloma looks like. Like, it's so, so pretty. Kind of went in with a heavy swatch there, but I typically just use a tiny little bit on a brush and just kind of stipple it in. And then I also love the shade Olay, which is the medium beige shade. Kind of like the perfect mixture of a blush and a bronzer. Like, look how beautiful that is. But I love these because they blend so nice. They're so creamy. I feel like the finish on the cheeks is just perfection. I don't even go in with a highlighter that often anymore. A lot of times I apply one of these bad boys and I feel like I have enough glow that I don't need a highlighter. In fact, if they came out with highlighters in this like formula, I might sell my kidney for that. I did mention Finding Ferdinand as one of my favorite new indie brands of the year, and they just rightfully deserve that place. I'm obsessed. One last product before we jump into the eyeshadow palettes. I also needed to mention the Mad For You Brows palette from Sydney Grace in the blonde shade, but you can custom make these with any of their like eyebrow colors that they already have available, and I think it's only $2 more to make your own custom version. Here's what the blonde palette looks like. As a redhead, I feel like this is just my perfect eyebrow shades. And I've struggled for so long because normally shades that are named blonde are like way too ashy, too cool tone, too taupey. And then shades that are labeled for redheads are like these like super vibrant, like auburn fire engine red hair type shades, which is obviously not gonna work for me either. And I just feel like these tones are that in-between perfection, obsessed. Majority of the time I use either ash or honey, like more towards the tail of my brow, and then I'll either use platinum or blonde towards the front just to get like a little bit more of like, you know, definition without being like too intense. So like I said, eyeshadow palettes, these were my top 3 palettes in all of my rankings, so I figured it just made sense to mention them here really quickly. So I have been absolutely obsessed with the Bella Beauté Bar Basic Witch palette. It is truly such a stunning color story. I just have the shade Hocus Pocus from this palette all over my lid today. I love that shimmer with my whole heart. It is so gorgeous. All of the shimmers in here are just 10 of 10. I love the formula, love the color story, love the theme, like obsessed. And then I also am wearing the Sickly Sweet palette from Blend Bunny, which I was not expecting this to be as much of a favorite as it is, but it is truly my favorite pastel palette, and obviously I was feeling the pastel tones today. I don't know that this is like the most Christmassy look that I could have possibly done, but it makes me happy and the quality is superb. I recommend this with my whole heart. And then lastly, I wanted to mention the Natasha Denona Yucca palette because this is my favorite Natasha Denona palette that has come out in a hot minute. And it is the most beautiful, like grungy color story. I'm actually regretting it right now because I could have used this shade on my inner corner and like done a look with all 3, but I didn't even think of that. But yes, this is so beautiful. I did do a comparison video of this to the Natasha Denona Gold palette because that's my favorite palette from Natasha Denona ever. I'm so happy that I bought it, and I don't feel like this is replacing it at all by any means, like it was kind of rumored to be. But it is beautiful as a standalone palette. I love the grunge, love the greens, love the shimmers in here. They're super intense. All right, y'all, so those were all of my favorite products. I would love to know yours. Feel free to comment down below. Let me know the indie makeup you've been loving. Maybe you'll convince me to pick something up if I haven't tried it yet. And I will see you next year. Bye.